Let's get back to simpler time, back when the living was good, and the nights are filled with music and fun. We worked our land in the day. Alright guys, so since we moved out here to this property, I've been wanting to get some honeybees. Been looking into it, and man, them jokers are expensive. Expensive, I tell you. I mean, I think a package of bees here in Virginia is like $180, which I ain't got $180 laying around to spend on a bunch of insects. So and the hives are expensive. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna build my own hive and hope that I can attract a swarm of bees to it. And I'll probably end up having to build some swarm traps too to try and catch some. But spring's coming on quick, so I better get on it. So stick with me today while I at least get this thing started, and we'll see where we end up from here. Now the plans I'm using are by Phil Chandler. He has biobees.com. He's got free plans on his website, a bunch of information about bees. I believe he's a British fella. He's got a lot of good information. He's got a lot of good YouTube videos too, so check him out. But yeah, we're gonna get started. I think cutting the top bars. I'm gonna build a top bar hive. So all right, let's get her done. All right guys, so when I bought this house, we had this shed was basically packed full of scrap lumber. So I'm building this whole thing out of scraps that were already here. So you know, you can buy all this stuff in at Lowe's, Home Depot, any place like that. So we're getting ready to start cutting our top bars here. First we're going to cut them all to 17 inches long. That's what he had. Got a stop set up here at 17 inches, so we can cut all our stuff the same. Then we're gonna trim them down to 1.5 inches widthwise, and yeah, we gotta have 25 of them. So let's get to work. All right, now when y'all are working with scrap wood, one thing you got to pay attention to, I don't know if you can see it, but like if you look at this board, it looks like it's had staples in it before. Now I'm looking at it and I don't see any staples still in the wood, so I think we'll be okay. But I mean, that's something that's stuff you gotta pay attention to, because that'll tear up your saw blade. And then when you're trying to when you're looking at your boards, you want to try to get the most usable board out of them that you can. So like this one, I got this big old nasty knot right here, but this side down here is pretty clear. So I'm gonna trim this part off rather than this side. That way I get more usable board foot out of it. So see there? Focus. There's a perfect example. See that nail in there? There's another one down here on the other end. We're gonna have to get the hammer and pull those out before we go cutting on that. Alright, let's trim these down to 1.5 inches, and we'll see where that puts us. Alright y'all, got the fence here set up at 1.5 inches, so let's get to cutting. Let's plug it in first, huh? Alright, let's see if that works. Here we go. Alright y'all, we got 30 of these things cut out. So now we're gonna cut a little groove down the center of the board that we can melt some beeswax into to make give the bees a guide to work with. So hopefully they'll make straight comb. So. Alright y'all, so looking at his plans here, we're gonna go ahead and make the what's called the follower board. It kind of helps give the it can help you divide up the hive. That way, you know, you can work the hive a little better, make it a little more user friendly for both you and the bees. But so we're gonna go ahead and make those first, and then once we have those, we can get the angle set properly on our for our sides and stuff like that. So the top part of the follower board is going to be 15 inches wide, and then the bottom of it is going to be 5 inches wide. So we're going to go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and get these marked out here on this board, and then we'll get it cut out. And alright, we got 3 of them jokers laid out there. Let's jump over here and get them cut out. Alright, so here's my plan. Get some glue on there, get her clamped up real good, and I'm going to tack some braces onto just one side of it to help hold it in place. That way I can still work with it. I'll do it only on the one side, that way, you know, if they got to stay on there, it's not in the way of the bee's comb or anything like that. So, alright, I'm going to get this thing glued up, and then we'll get back to trucking on. She ain't going to be the prettiest thing in the world, but hopefully she's gonna work. That one ain't that pretty either, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, man. All right, let's take these things and get the boards up there on the top of them. Alright, I got to mark 1 inch in on each side. We'll get this thing on top here, get her pretty well centered up, and we'll nail her down. That look good to y'all? Alright, there's 1. 2 more to go. Then we'll get rolling on making the sides. Alright y'all, we got those things nailed up. Gonna get the sides and the end boards cut out now. The sides, his cut list says to cut 44 inches long, and then the end boards he said 18 inches long. I'm working with 1x12s just because that's what I have here. That's what I found. Probably better to work with a 2x12, a pine 2x12, but I don't have that. The only 2x12 I have here is oak, and I sure as heck ain't using that on a scrap wood beehive. So, alright, I'm going to get these cut out, and we'll move on from there. Alright guys, so we got the sides and the ends cut out here. I got the follower board set up upside down on the floor here. The reason you do those first is that way you get your angle right on the ends, and it just makes it a whole lot easier to that way you ain't gotta sit there and try and figure out the angle when you're cutting these follower boards. So I'm gonna go ahead and tack a nail into the bottom of each one of these follower boards to help hold these sides on, keep them from sliding, and then we'll get the ends nailed on. Alright y'all, now I probably should screw this stuff together, but this wood's pretty rough. I don't even know if it would hold up to having a screw in it, so we're just going to glue it and throw use my hair nailer, put some brad nails in it, and alright, let's get to it. Alright, that part's done. Alright y'all, well, as you can see, we're getting a lot closer. I couldn't resist going ahead and laying them top bars in there. Now I gotta figure out the legs and get them attached. So hang tight and we'll be back with you. Alright guys, so here's what we got. I took and measured in 5 inches from the top here, and then kind of set a board from that mark down to the corner down here, and took where's that? Took Granddaddy's old angle finder here and got her over to the table saw and figured not the table saw, the chop saw here, and figured it out. It's about a 25-degree angle right there to get your flush cut right here. And what we'll end up doing is lowering this down about an inch. That way the roof has something to rest on. So I'm gonna get some locations marked here for drilling the holes for these legs, and then we'll get them attached and move on from there. The only thing I purchased for this project was some carriage bolts. Carriage bolts, nuts, and washers. Everything else is scrap that I've had that came with the house or been laying around here. Alright, these legs are on. I'm going to jump over to the other side to get those done. Then all we got to do is make the top. Alright y'all, got the legs on now. Now all we got to do is we got to drill the entrance holes. And we got to make us a roof for it, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. I got to go to church and play guitar with Dad, so we're going to wrap it up for today. We'll get to it maybe later tonight or tomorrow sometime, hopefully. All right, see y'all after a while.